You are given a baby on your 21st birthday. The child turns out to be you as a baby. Raising him won't change your life, only his. How would you raise this child to give it a better life than the one you have? Give him to a parent who's older than 21. Seriously, I'm 31 now and I cannot imagine being given a baby at this age, let alone the age of 21. Back then I was in college, drinking and partying a lot, being very irresponsible in so many ways. I would not want myself to try and raise myself back then because I do not think I could handle it at all, both mentally and financially. Make him brush his damn teeth twice a day. Oh god yes. As we speak I'm stuck on the toilet from the antibiotics I've been taking to kill the massive infection eating the bones in my face because I wasn't taught proper oral hygiene. 6 crowns. 1 failed crown that had to be turned to an implant. And surgical removal of a molar later. You'd think I'd have learned by now. Not beat him? Try having Asian and Latino family. You got the bamboo back scratcher or la chancla. Support him and his hobby and get to know what he's actually interested in instead of ridiculing it and just telling him to stop doing it. Also telling him that it's not important what other people think of him instead of saying stuff like look, other people are looking already. That's how you create anxiety in people. This reminds me of my family. The opinions of other people is almost sacred for them. I've grown up being scared of other people's judgment and I am still afraid of looking ridiculous when I am trying to do something new or when I am meeting new people for the first time. Give it to my parents. I was ready to give a pessimistic reply to this, but now I wonder if my parents would be able to raise a better version of me, knowing how I turned out due to their parenting. Send him to a Tibetan monastery to learn ancient martial arts so he can come back and be Batman. Listen, tell her that she always has someone to talk to and if she doesn't feel comfortable with me, then we can find the appropriate people. Not downplaying her anxiety with cheer up, it'll get better, it'll be fine. Don't mock him when he tells me about liking or dating a girl. I hated when my parents did that to me. My parents, you should be more open with us and trust us. Me, becomes more open and trusting my parents. Haha, what a loser. Hate that shit. I would make sure he had proper coping skills and teach him the importance of health and nutrition. I've been morbidly obese for as long as I can remember due to bad eating habits and being sedentary. I've lost 62 pounds in the past 3 to 4 months from forming healthy eating habits, eating balanced meals, and getting plenty of exercise. Edit. Thank you so much for all of the encouraging words and awards. I got started by getting screened for mental illnesses by a psychiatrist and was diagnosed with ADHD and was put on a non-stimulant medication. It's been the most life-changing experience. That internal voice that talks you out of doing something is barely around anymore and I've finally started developing habits and routines that benefit me with little struggle. Also I found an indoor recumbent exercise bike which is one of the greatest things for people who want to get a good workout that isn't hard on the back and knees. Plus the ability to watch something on my laptop while I do it is awesome. Last but not least I keep track of my eating and exercise using MyFitnessPal. Listen bucko, this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. Yeet. Breaking news, baby found thrown over a building. More on this story at 9. Simply give him the love and attention he deserves. Make sure to never put him through the DCF process and orphanages. As a foster parent, you could provide this to other kids. Being a foster parent, I know the positive difference we make in children's lives. Just an idea. I would pay attention to his ADHD symptoms and follow up with his teachers to make sure he was reaching his potential in school. Don't tell him he's smart, instead praise his effort and hard work. I wouldn't ignore her or enable her. She would be told I love you every day and she would always be welcome to hugs. I would get her started in pre-K homeschool programming, provide discipline, and no discussion subject is off limits. I would talk to her more as a person and not overlook and treat her like some stupid child. I would actually raise her instead of simply watch. Surround her full of people who would love her. This is what I do with my 5-year-old who is basically me but with blue eyes. I like my life. I'd give the baby to my parents. They did a great job the first time around. Not use negative encouragement like, even jokingly, saying don't fuck this up before a big event. Get him into some solid sports early and teach him about handling money responsibly. Little man. Most people are amazing, but there's some people, some bad people, who may even act like good people, and they're gonna try to hurt you. You say no. Get yourself away and clear, and come straight to me. If it doesn't seem right to you, or feel right to you, it ain't right, and they're lying to you. Protect yourself, and come straight to me with whatever is up. Always. You will never get in trouble for telling me about what's up in your life. Good or bad. Never. You basically just described what's it like to get children, dude. It truly is a version of you and your soul, and how you raise him will, more or less, only change his life. My life is pretty good, but I would do the following. Not gonna tell him I'm the old version of him. He doesn't need to grow up in my shadow. Things my parents did. I will repeat. My dad kept me away from ads as a kid by taping cartoons and letting me watch them without the advertisement. I am certain this had a major change on my development. Therefore, set up a Plex server where I can give Junior me access to all the shows and he wants, ad-free. Spend lots of early time teaching and enriching. Sit with him to work on homework. Math was hard for me. It will be hard for Junior me. Never breathe a word of dyslexia or any kind of excuse. Just some daily flash exercises for the routine stuff. I will 100% take time off work for this if I have to, which I have the luxury of doing. Things I would do differently than my parents. We can skip the religion phase, no finish everything on your plate nonsense. Full means full focus more on physical exercise. Even if it's something weird and foreign like martial arts, no shaming about sex. Be willing to talk openly and provide a safe environment for questions. Put him up for adoption. I don't need to ruin another life. No finish everything on your plate nonsense. Freedom to make mistakes early on. Seconded. My parents both came from poor, working class families and saw food as a luxury. We had to eat everything on our plates or we were seen as ungrateful, despite the fact that our family was relatively affluent and food wastage wasn't really an issue. Might go some way towards explaining why we were all overweight by the time we hit our teen years. Give him human affection, which I don't have. There are some things that people don't realize would happen if someone doesn't feel cared for. She would be treated as a person, not property. She would be given compassion and an education, not beatings and religious brainwashing. Let her socialize with the neighbor kids, let her have friends and not isolate her out of fear. Give her care when she says she hurts or aches. Take her to the neurologist for the migraines and fainting spells. Help not only when the illness or whatever reflects poorly on my public appearances, which means help her transition when she realizes she's on track for the wrong puberty. Maybe pay for part of her college education too. If she earns decent marks like I did, tell her she's beautiful so she doesn't starve herself.